Jane Cunningham, you want to go? We'll get you off the bench. How's that? Should I say former rep, former senator, and all the titles that go along with that?
All the fun I've had, well, Senator.
Good to see you here.
Good to be back. Mr. Chairman and committee members, my name is Jane Cunningham, and I am here to testify in behalf of Senator Brown's 127, the Right to Work bill. I'm going to skip a little bit. I was going to talk about what impressed me most when I handled the Right to Work hearings when we ran it through the General Laws Committee, and by the way, we passed it in 2012. The most impactful testimony to me was the one you heard from the locator, and so I won't repeat that. You've heard all of that. But today I want to take this opportunity to make sure you have a little bit of the benefit of what I've learned since I used to sit where you do. I was elected 2 years ago to the Monarch Fire Protection Board, and that's located in St. Louis County. As you know, if you run for fire board, school district, city council, you usually spend, you would guess, maybe $5,000, and that would be a lot to run for those type offices. I spent $85,000 to win a fire board seat in a district I had represented for 12 years. The union spent, it has been estimated, $105,000 to $130,000 against me in both manpower and money. The union just in my district collects $300,000 or close to it in each election cycle of 2 years. The union in my area threatens potential political candidates who want to run for these offices. Dr. Bonnie Stegman, who is on the Melville board, when she first filed to run, the union called the hospital where she was employed and threatened them, asking that they fire her or that she take her name off the ballot, and if they did not, they were going to take their business, their ambulance business, to another hospital, which they could have done because this is the hospital they were using. I want to just show you something. Probably can't see this from where you are. I just printed this last night off the website. This is the website of Professional Firefighters of Eastern Missouri and the Monarch Firefighters and Paramedics Shop. The top line that I've highlighted says, Jane Cunningham, we must kill this beast. This is their Facebook page. I just printed it off last night. It has the same words. While this one goes into a lengthy small letter explanation of why they said this, this one has no explanation at all. The point is, the takeaway is, Jane Cunningham, we must kill this beast. Now, might some unstable person see that and act on it? I guess I'll just tell you I choose not to focus on that possibility. But the threats are there, and this kind of bullying campaign machines corrupt the system, and it blocks normal citizens from the process.
Senator, better probably stay on.
They're probably what?
Topic. You know, I know what you're saying there, but I think we better stay on the right to work.
Oh, okay.
All right. In support of the bill.
Oh, okay. I think what I'm trying to do here is give you some information on the public sector, which is a little bit different than the bill, but I think it's going to serve you all well as you look at this entire right to work, prevailing wage, all of those labor reform issues. If you would not like me to do that, I'll stop my testimony now. If you think it would
Senator,
be helpful.
you're welcome to support on. And you know my feelings of recently of many things that's occurred. I just think I got to be careful here of drawing the two resemblances on support of this bill. I think we need to be, you're in support of the bill because of the economic impact or it's the best for Missouri, you know, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Yeah, and I see what you're trying to say. And I guess I could weigh the rest of what I say with that, but it's mainly for the purpose of information of what I learned. It is public sector activities and how they impact the economic conditions of our state, because they do. Collective bargaining, be it public or private, does affect the bottom line.
Right. And I
want me to continue, or do you want me to stop?
I think that's the kind of topic I would like. You're welcome to continue on.
Okay.
I don't want to cut you short, but just with recent events, you know, I want to be a little careful in this hearing.
Sure, and I understand.
How I proceed here.
Okay, if I get offline, just stop me again.
All right. All right. Thank
But
you.
I'll try. I guess you may ask with this, why do the unions want to control these boards? Why do they want to have their people on these boards? Let me just give you an example from Monarch, where we are, right back to the economics of it. Before I was on this board, they signed a contract, and it gave this. Most of our employees at Monarch have a high school degree or a GED. They work 2.25 days a week. Those are 24-hour days. I want to make sure you understand that. So we do pay them to sleep there. They all have their own private bedroom, and they enjoy TV lounges. The actual average nationwide of a firefighter paramedic is $42,250. That's their average salary nationwide. At Monarch, where we are, where there's heavy union influence, the average salary, Senator Walsh, you'll be pleased at this, is $95,000 a year, more than twice the national average, and the benefit package altogether is $136,000 a year on average. And this is interesting, firefighters in our district are entitled to 3 months paid time off a year. I did say that right. 3 months paid time off per year they are eligible for. That is what you see when a union elects and directs local boards and owns both sides of the bargaining table. Now, what difference does it make economically if you have a pro-taxpayer board? Let me go back to my friend Dr. Bonnie Stegman. Melville eventually became controlled by pro-taxpayer members. They reduced taxes 40%. 40%. Now that gets into the economics of our state. If you've been around long enough, and some of you may have, you may remember that a number of years ago we actually had to pass a law just for Melville District. There was nothing in the statute that allowed a local board to reduce taxes, and we passed a law to let them do that. I'm sorry to say, in the St. Louis area, of the 23 districts, fire board districts, only 3 of them are controlled by taxpayer board members, and that's because of the abuses that I've talked about with regard to the campaigning. When we took over in Monarch, we absolutely reversed a $1 million tax increase, and we stopped a $33 million bond issue that would have raised taxes by 20%. Both of those were advanced by a union control board. We put in a transparency portal so that everyone could see exactly what our expenditures and revenues were and all the salaries. Thank you, Carl Bearden of United for Missouri's Future, who gave that to us for free. He gives that to all local governments for free, and they should take it. We opened our collective bargaining negotiation to the public and the press. It's historic. I know of no other body that opens their collective bargaining agreements to people to observe. But we felt like taxpayers should have the right to observe us negotiating their money. I want to mention 2 things because there is another bill coming forward by Senator Bob Anders, Senate Bill 549, that addresses some of the things that I brought up. He requires in that bill, among other things, open collective bargaining for public entities. And he addresses a clause that could be in both public and non-public public collective bargaining agreements. I would hope that a non-public entity, an employer, would not do this, but they may. There's a clause called an evergreen clause, and what it does, it requires that the contract you sign goes on forever until the union control board can get a board that will even give a better and more lavish conditions. We have spent in my district over $100,000 already on legal fees just to get rid of this evergreen clause that obligates our taxpayers forever to the lavish conditions that are put in that contract. We're confident we're going to prevail because the existing case law is on our side, but I guess I would encourage you to support and move Dr. Anders' legislation in order to save other public bodies the time, the trouble, and the expense that we have endured in our efforts to outlaw collective bargaining agreements that obligate taxpayers forever. Lobbyists in this building, many of whom have assisted you on your campaigns, actually cause an endangerment of the public, like bills that were advanced by Eric Schmidt in 2013, right after I left. If you want to write these bills down to review them, Senate Bill 216, House Bill 307 and House Bill 336. Lobbyists have said they would never have been able to pass a Republican legislature because they were so contrary to our viewpoints, but it did pass. My main point is I just wanted to give you some concrete examples in our state of why you should not be excluding government employee unions in your labor reforms, such as paycheck protection. Thank you, Mr. Senator. From what I've seen, government employee unions are the worst offenders, and we need taxpayer protections from the foxes that are watching our hen houses. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Senator Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I guess I have a statement. We're here for Senate Bill 127.
Right.
I don't appreciate testimony on every labor bill we have bouncing around the chamber right now because we're getting off subject, Mrs. Cunningham, and I'd like to make $97,000 a year. We got some people here that can't make it on $80,000 and come to the committees and want to know, they want more pay. We're talking about guys here that make $28,000 a year. And I didn't have any questions, but you called me out. I didn't call you out. Thank you.
Further questions of the witness?
I appreciate that, Senator, and understand it.
Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.